Hey guys, it's Anfield here. Welcome to another top 5 video. Today's video we're going to cover the top 5 removed maps. Okay, so the maps that have made it into this top 5 list are basically maps that people have previously stated quite often that they've missed the maps, and then some of those thrown in with ones that I personally miss quite a lot. Also, it's important to keep in mind that some of these maps may have not been perfectly balanced. In fact, they could have been, let's just say, removed for a good reason. However, I don't necessarily always agree with removing maps. I think a lot of maps are easily fixed. For example, South Coast is going to be removed, and I think that map just needs a little bit of updating and some changes to terrain, and it'll be great. So, in the spirit of let's not remove maps, let's fix maps, here's the top 5 list. Okay, so kicking off the list, at number 5, we have Severogorsk. This is a map that was originally introduced quite a while ago, and it wasn't a very popular map for a while. It was another Russian-themed map. It was a winter map, but it was really, really campy and defensive. And then it received an update, and they kind of made the middle more important and the other hill more important and other things that generally made the map a little bit better to play. And then they just flat out removed it. This was a map that did need some more balancing, it's true, but aesthetically it was quite interesting. It was a nice Russian winter map, and it certainly had more character than, say, Arctic region. And basically what we got instead was Winter Ruinberg. Bringing us in at number 4 is the most recently removed map on this list, and that's Northwest. Northwest was a map that had a lot of potential. There was a lot going on, lots of interesting lanes, but what often ends up happening is some get neglected because of strategical pointlessness, and there are not lots of situations where general pubs will go down a lane and just stick there, ensuring each other's mutual destruction. But it's a map that I actually quite liked looking at. It was quite pleasing on the eye, and I think with some updates and some changes, maybe some leveling out of the terrain differences, it could have been a really fun map. And for number 3, we have Wide Park. Now, Wide Park is actually still in the game as far as I'm aware. I'm pretty sure it's tier 3 through 6 only. Now, Wide Park was actually kind of an interesting map because it was originally introduced for the high tiers. I'm pretty sure it's still high tier on Xbox. And I think the reason they removed the map was because of view range issues in terms of it was so small and tier 10s have a lot of view range. I don't see this as much of a problem, and to be honest, it was kind of cool because you could spot artillery on the other side of the map and kill it. It's another map that I didn't mind playing too much, and I kind of wish they just updated the map rather than removed it. Lots of different things can be changed on maps to suddenly make them viable to play on, and I just feel this is another map that was just neglected and removed rather than given the care it needed. At number 2, we have Port. Port was actually kind of a fun map. I didn't mind Port so much, and I think part of the reason Port was removed was because of the train tracks in the middle that separated both sides. There was a lot of tracks, and it was kind of slow to get across because, the old physics. But I think with the new physics engine coming in, where you basically don't really lose speed going over train tracks, I think the map could be reintroduced. It wasn't that poorly balanced in the first place, and if any issues are found in a future patch, then it can always be updated rather than straight out removed. Port will always hold a special place in my memory for being able to push artillery pieces into their watery graves. So, finally, at number 1, we have Dragon Ridge. This is probably a map I hear the most talked about in terms of maps that people seem to miss. And I like Dragon Ridge. I didn't mind Dragon Ridge. It was introduced originally as part and package of the Chinese update where we first got Chinese tanks. It featured in the trailer for the Chinese tanks, and this was basically the China map. I really enjoyed playing on the map as a medium tank. It was quite fun. You had lots of options to play around tank destroyers. There wasn't so much of a lane issue because the map was so dynamic. Perhaps one of the major issues was the terrain differences. But again, you kind of level that out a little bit more, and that's not such of a problem. And also, in fairness, Dragon Ridge was one of the most aesthetically pleasing maps. It was certainly extremely different from anything we'd had before, which was all basically European-based maps. And I personally, along with a lot of other people, would love to see this map reintroduced. So that does it for my top 5 maps removed from World of Tanks. If you enjoyed this list, please let me know. If you have a different list, leave it in the comments. And if you have maps that you think I missed out, such as, say, Pearl River, which is a map I enjoyed, although I thought it was too big, again, let me know, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the next video. And as always, good luck on the battlefield.